Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I am going to be using these two amazing loose setting powders by Jeffree Star Cosmetics in lavender and pink cashmere. And today is also going to be my first video where I'm not going to be doing a voiceover. I'm going to be talking as I'm doing my makeup. So I hope I do my makeup well. I hope I don't mess up, because yeah. And so, and about loose setting powders, I feel like some people are like, why like pink, lavender, even green sometimes? Well, like sometimes, I don't know, it's just like the artistry of makeup. And, I love using pink, purple, green, blue setting powders, and it kind of makes like a pretty super undertone. And even if you want to use like your own skin tone loose setting powder, I use it too. Just depends like what kind of look you're going for. If you're like, sometimes there's like that pink undertone, and just like if you want to go more glam, a little bit more natural or casual, just depends. So yeah, wish me luck on doing my makeup as I'm talking. So yeah. So first I'm going to put on a makeup cape because every time I do my makeup, I make a mess on my shirt, I make a mess of my pants. So I'm gonna put in this on to catch all the fallout and catch all the makeup that falls out as I'm doing my makeup. So first, as the base, as you know, makeup primer. So I'm going to be using Smashbox, the original Photo Finish Smooth and Blur Primer. Put that on. I love how it's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like matte and like jelly. Oh, it's super pretty. Putting that on. Sorry if I stutter. And putting that on. Then next I'm going to be using NYX Cosmetics color correcting palette to do some base color corrector. Going ahead and doing that peachy color, putting it on my under eye, putting it on my lid, other under eye, and a little on my nose. And gonna be using that purple concealer and putting it on my cheeks a little bit, to kind of cancel out that redness I have on my face. A little bit on my lips or under lip, my forehead. There is that color corrector. Dang. And getting a damp sponge and blending in the color corrector. First doing the peachy color and then onto the purple. I'm blending in that purple concealer and blending in that purple concealer on my forehead. Make sure it's all blended everywhere. Now onto foundation. I'm going to be using Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin Full Coverage Foundation. Getting that tin pan and squeezing on that foundation. I'm going to mix in a little bit of MAC Face and Body Foundation. Squeezing that on. Then putting in some facial oil onto that foundation. That way it is a not super, but like a pretty dewy look when you put on your foundation. I'm getting that foundation brush and blending that in. Now onto applying that foundation. Ooh, you see how it's like super pretty, dewy application with that facial oil. I used Farsali rose gold elixir. Super pretty. Putting that on. Put that on the eyelid. More of that around on the face. Really put that, dig into that well. Then I'm going to be using the damp sponge and blending in that foundation. One side is done, now onto the other side. Blending in that other side and making sure it's all even. Yeah, I love putting facial oil into my foundation. It just makes such a super pretty, dewy look and literally like a flawless application. And look at that. Look how snatched that is. How do you describe this? Like looking like a sun, I don't know, makes you look like a sun goddess. Putting that on, it's like dewy, it's like, it's a mix of like dewy and matte at the same time. It's just flawless. Now onto concealer. I'm gonna be using RCMA Makeup Concealer Palette. And for my skin tone, I have like olive skin tone. It's not like white, not brown, it's like in between. So I'm just using these two colors. You can tell it's more used. And then I use these colors like when I'm doing eyeshadow to do cut creases and all that. So, okay, getting in that concealer. Doing all the steps on camera of what I do before loose setting powder. That is the first step of baking. I'm blending in that first coat of concealer under the under eye, or on the under eye, that area right here. Then the other eye, blending in that now. Now doing the lighter tone and another layer of concealer with the lighter tone. Blending that. Now other eye and blend. Now primed, foundation, concealer already. Now time to do the loose setting powders. So I'm going to be getting lavender and I'm going to set my under eye first. Ooh, I love the packaging, so pretty. Smells good, it smells like cotton candy. And get some of that good loose setting powder and getting a damp sponge. Make sure it's clean enough and damp, and then dry it a little bit before you use it. Because especially when you're baking and you have like a wet sponge, it's gonna go freaking patchy everywhere, and no. So make sure it's a balance of dry and wet, or else it's gonna be patchy or it's just not gonna blend. And if it's too dry, it's not gonna do anything. You have to be able to squeeze it, and it has to feel like just very, very damp. Yeah, I forgot to mention in my other baking video. The first video I did for baking, I forgot to mention to avoid patchiness, you just do one dip and then apply it on. One dip at a time for each area. For each area, you just do one dip, or else it's gonna come out patchy. It can come out a little bit of patchy either way, but definitely not as patchy, and as least patchy as possible when you just do one dip. So yeah. Okay, make sure the makeup is all blended and there's no creasing. All right, here we go. One dip. Okay, ooh. Now going to apply under eye and a little bit on the nose. Look how pretty that is. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Wow. Now onto the other eye. Make sure you blend that. Make sure it's like, yeah, you know, kind of shake it a little bit. Okay, one dip, boom. Now, look how gorgeous that is. Wow. I'm impressed. There is the under eye with purple. Looks so pretty. Now onto pink for the rest of my face. Okay, make sure you get that makeup off your hands or else you're gonna make a mess. Now pink cashmere. I love that name, super pretty. And then opening that. When you first open loose powders, it doesn't automatically come out like that. You have to like unbox it, remove the plastic, and then you're gonna have to shake it to get that. So I already used this one time before. This is the second time I'm doing this, filming it, so yeah. Okay, now onto the rest of my face. One dab per area. Doing right here. Now, how I really learned how to bake was from Patrick Starr by baking the entire face. You bake your entire face. That way you really get that snatched look of, oops, I accidentally put more than one dab, but I didn't get too much on there. That way you get a snatched base. You see how it's creased from the concealer right there, and it's gonna blend that in. That way I bake my eyelids. Blend that in. Bake, 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 bake. Girl, I look like cotton candy. It's great. But it's gonna look super pretty. But it looks super pretty as cotton candy. This is baked face. The cotton candy is a good thing though. Also, look how important it is to wear a makeup cape, because especially with baking, you make a mess. So get a makeup cape. To dust this loose setting powder, I'm going to be using NARS pressed powder and getting just a NARS brush and going to dust that loose setting powder. Dust the other eye, the other under eye. Dust the rest of my face. Dust, 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 dust. Now dust the rest of all of my entire face. That is stunning. Look at that. That is stunning. I love the purple and pink undertones. It is stunning. Zero patchiness. Like, look, there is no patchiness at all. Look at that. Flawless. I'm impressed. JEFFREE Star, this is amazing. I highly recommend these loose setting powders. So pretty, so stunning, flawless, zero patchiness. Get these. Now onto finishing the baking process by applying that setting powder. Pressed setting powder, no, just pressed powder. Loose setting powder was the pink and purple powder I used. Okay, now finishing the rest of my face. Okay. Putting on that pressed powder. Okay, girl, look how flawless my base is. These babies, get these. These are amazing. 10 out of 10. Great. Absolutely stunning. And this is with an iPhone camera. So iPhone camera, it captures every single detail Even if your makeup is not good, it catches it. So this is with iPhone camera. Stunning, flawless, zero patchiness, literally flawless. Now to finish the rest of my makeup, I'll be right back. There is my makeup all done. Before fake eyelashes. Before I put on my fake eyelashes, I'm gonna be using Urban Decay De-Slick Setting Makeup Spray. So just dry that up. There is my makeup all done. And take off my makeup cape. Now onto doing my hair for the final look. Now with my hair all done, my makeup all done, here, look down at the eyeshadow, all the angles and this lighting. Now onto the Instagram camera. Here is the Instagram camera. Get all the lighting. Here is more of the Instagram camera. Now all in silence so that you can see all the makeup. Or just my mouth not moving, I guess, because I was humming. Look how stunning, gorgeous, flawless. Get these, guys. Get them ASAP. Jeffree Star, you've done it again. Look at that flawless base. Girl, sis. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time.